Oh my gosh, those are such huge topics. But honestly, it does affect it. Testosterone. Let's see if I can do like a mini little session here. Testosterone is super important for men and women. It's the thing that makes us feel confident. It's the thing that makes us feel ambitious, have energy, motivation. And around the age of 40, it starts to decline in both men and women. So that sucks. So it does affect that. Insulin is connected to blood sugar and it is affected by how you eat, and it definitely affects energy. If your blood sugar is not balanced, it will cause fatigue.
Yeah.
And then cortisol is a hormone that gets released while you're stressed, and under chronic stress, that those levels become really high and they affect your sleep, your energy, how you lose fat.
And I imagine cortisol happens, especially if you're in a career and you're always on and there's always these deadlines. Quick crash course. Is there something I can do to help my cortisol levels stay low?
Quit. No, I'm just kidding.
That's actually probably the best advice, but
Yes, there are things you can do. I mean, I know this sounds really like cheesy, but I'm gonna put it out there because if I don't say it, no one will say it. We have to get good sleep. We have to drink enough water. We have to continue to focus. We're talking about nutrient deficiencies. Well, there's other deficiencies which I call macronutrient deficiencies. We're not getting enough fiber. We're not getting enough protein in our diets. I see this all the time. If we could do that, we're going to fuel our body with the proper stuff so that you can continue to adapt to the stress. You can continue to address stress, maybe respond to it in a better way rather than react to it. I also use a lot of herbs that are fantastic at helping exactly that. They help you adapt to stress rather than react to stress.
we'll talk a little bit more about what some of those recommendations are. On the subject of testosterone, I am now 43 and I see the commercials now, and I realized I was talking to somebody at work the other day, and I'm like, the commercials and its side effects may include death and insomnia and all this stuff, all the different medicines they have now. I realize that the commercials are actually aimed at my age group and us now, and it makes me sad. One of those being always about, do you have low T? And there's some pill that's supposed to help raise your testosterone for you said it affects women as well, but for men especially, after you get over 40, is taking some of these over-the-counter supplements for low testosterone something that's legit and you should do?
I would be really careful with taking herbs from online. There are definitely, we want a quality product. There is good research behind some herbal products, and I do feel like they work better when they're used together. So I'm not really a single herb person when it comes to anything, but definitely for testosterone. I like combination products. The younger you are, the better the herbs will work. I also, we have to remember there are natural things we can do, like exercise will help to improve testosterone. I see it all the time. And also I think about something else that's natural that will help: creatine. Creatine is a supplement you can get over the counter, very cheap. You don't need anything fancy. Whatever they're trying to sell you, the basic stuff works. It will support muscle growth, muscle recovery, and testosterone levels.
I forgot about creatine. I haven't taken that since high school when
Oh my God.
I was a little twig and I thought that would help me play better in football, and I still sucked. But I remember also it felt like it gave me energy, or maybe that was a pre-workout, but I remember taking creatine and expecting to like bulk up in 30 days. But now I actually should probably think about that again. I completely forgot about it. That's a good call. All right. Let's move on to the next segment called the playbook. We're going to talk about habits and what are the habits that are going to keep us sharp. And so I think you mentioned consistency, but we know that small daily habits add up. What do you think is one bad health habit that most professionals do every day without realizing how much it's hurting them?
Probably working through lunch.
Okay,
The
that's huge.
eating and working thing, it doesn't work. We need to be in parasympathetic mode, which is where we call that rest and digest mode. We have to be in that very calm mode to actually digest our food properly.
Right.
So people who are eating on the go and eating while they're working and just doing this numbness, just numbing, stuffing the face, you are doing a disservice for two reasons. One, when we're in that parasympathetic mode, blood supply is going straight to the gut. But when we like doing work and worrying about this email and you gotta get this project done, blood supply is actually shunted away from our digestive tract. So you're not going to digest well, which of course causes things like gas, bloating, indigestion, and poor elimination. And then the other thing is we're not conscious enough to get that signal, I'm full. We're not even paying attention. We're just eating, 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 and not even listening. But you kind of have to be in that calm state to be able to hear that message.
So I'm guilty of this where I will rush and I get 10 minutes because I need to finish the email or I have a back-to-back meetings. I was just talking to somebody and they're like, I'm going to have to eat on this call because I don't have time throughout the day. Is 20 minutes enough time? What is the minimum amount of time that we should take time during lunch to at least semi be okay?
It depends on how big the meal is, but I'm going to say at least 20 to 30 minutes.
And everybody should be able to do 20 to 30 minutes, and we somehow find ourselves super busy, but I will do better as myself. I've actually started putting calendar blocks in weeks in advance for 30 minutes to make sure that I'm able to do lunch. So I would recommend that to other people. So that's a good call. On the other end, after the morning and after your lunch, we're talking about sleep, and you mentioned it, how important it is. And you know how important it is. I think many people hear about it. Are there huge mistakes that people can make about their sleep? Are we doing sleep wrong? Can we do it better? Is there something that we can do to be better at that?
Sleep, people think, even my daughter was like, Mom, it's not fair. You lay down and you go to sleep. Well, okay. It's not really supposed to be like that. Your body has to actually prepare to sleep. Back when we think about evolution, back then, or even not even that long ago, maybe 300 years ago, when there was no light, right? When the sun would go down, people stopped being productive. That's when people stopped. We don't stop. We just keep going. We keep watching TV. We keep cleaning. We keep cooking. We keep emailing and rolling. We just don't stop. And I think if we're doing it wrong, I would say is that we really need to I have people put in blocks like you're talking about, saying, okay, this is my stop time. Like, I don't care if I'm not done. Everything has to stop. And we have to start thinking about what is that process of preparing for going to sleep.
My wife could fall asleep right away.
That's because is she nervous?
Yes.
I mean, how is she going through the course? She's exhausted.
If she's been able to do that from the very, very beginning, which I'm impressed by, I, on the other hand, can't fall asleep, and I've always had insomnia. And that might have something to do with the fact that I sit on my phone and scroll for hours because I just started being more on threads, Instagram threads, and it's just so much amazing. And I just scroll and scroll and scroll, and I can't fall asleep because that's all I do, which is stupid. And I know that's wrong, but we should be doing better to have a sleep routine is what you're saying.
A routine, yes. Something that prepares the body to rest. So if you're sitting there, even people who read, sometimes they're reading like a thriller at bedtime, that's not okay either. You've got your mind too much going. So it's important that we take time to be like, okay, even if it's 30 minutes before you lay down in your bed, put the phone away. Preferably we don't have electronics in the bedroom. And we just really start to wind, like the literal wind down.
So is that meditate? Walk me through the end of the night then if it's optimal. Is that, okay, 30 minutes, electronics are off, I'm laying in bed and I'm meditating. What does it look like?
Meditation is tough for people because it's like telling someone they have to do something. And it's just so tough, especially people like you and I. Like, I feel like your mind is always moving. So
100%.
Yes. So I feel like it needs to be something, it depends on the person. So for some people, it's like jumping in a tub, reading something relaxing, maybe a book preferable over like an iPad. For other people, it might be like drinking tea, having a conversation with their significant other about their day. Maybe they haven't had time to do that all evening. It may look like fine. It may look like cleaning the kitchen on your own, listening to relaxing music, or how about preparing for your next day, pulling out clothes,